My name's Josh Kadish, and about 16 years ago, my brother Ben was involved in a hate crime where this man who was involved in the Aryan Nation, who was mentally unstable, he came to a Jewish summer camp that we happened to be attending, and decided to shoot the place. And he ended up attacking a few children, including my brother, a receptionist, and following that, he murdered a postal worker, a Filipino postal worker, who was on his route for the day. So I woke up and it was like pretty similar routine as what would usually happen. We'd wake up, we'd have breakfast. My parents would drop us off at the JCC that was closest to our house, the community center that was close to our house, and from there we all took a bus to the other site where the day camp was happening over the summer. I mean, we got there probably 9, 10 in the morning. And not too long after, I went to the back 40. My brother was involved in, he was in a different, like a younger group of kids at the camp. And so he stayed on site for the day. And as I was loading up, kind of like I said, the shots rang out, and that's when the man, the shooter, attacked. His name was Buford Furrow. So we left on the bus. The counselors, were like kind of in a rush to get us on there. And we took, the bus driver took off very quickly. We parked near this park and got out, and it was, probably like 10:45, 11 in the morning, something like that. The rest of the day was, we spent it at like this weird kind of safe house that was next to the park. And there was a singer who would come in to the camp and, like lead us in different songs and everything like that every once in a while. At a certain point, I was taken aside, and it was me and actually Josh Stepakoff's brother, Seth. And we were both taken aside, and the people who ran the summer camp, the directors of the summer camp, I think the words they used to describe it was that our brothers had an accident. And I ended up being escorted by a couple of police officers. They took me in their car to the hospital, and they took me to the emergency entrance. Actually, I remember specifically, took us through like the ambulance entrance. I remember walking down a very long corridor where they were like, it's a hospital, so it was a trauma center. It was like an ER center. So like, I remember nurses and doctors running back and forth down this hallway, and they led me to this door, to this little room. And my parents were sitting in there, and they were kind of like crowded in this little corner, and they were sobbing. They were really, they looked exhausted. They looked like very, very upset. They'd seen doctors and priests and rabbis and police captains and all like other kinds of people you could possibly think of. And they had like, I remember my dad had like a ledger. Or not a ledger. He had a stack of cards, just like a huge wad of business cards in his hand of like all the people who would come in, and they hugged me, and I remember like just feeling all their tears kind of around me, but I remember not being able to cry and not like feeling like distant, like I was emotional, but I didn't feel like I was there. My brother was finally like at a point where they had him at an okay space, and he was out of surgery. And they offered, a chance to my parents to go and see him. And they asked me if I wanted to join them, and I was too scared to go at that point. And the next morning, my dad came and picked me up. He was kind of like trying to, to prepare me and say that everything was going to be okay. He was trying to be, very strong and assure me that my brother was okay. And they led me down, various corridors, like it looks like a hospital, and finally to this room. And I think they let me go in by myself. And so they open the door, and I walk in, and I didn't see my brother. All I saw was a mountain, literally a mountain of like stuffed animals and toys and cards and flowers and everything else you could possibly imagine. And all of a sudden, my eyes kind of like started going toward the middle, and I saw my brother was like just in the middle of all this. He was surrounded by all of it. And the night before, when I was, taken in by that family that took me overnight and, kind of cared for me for the night, this is stupid, we went to a restaurant that had karaoke, And it was like the first time I ever went to anything like that. I don't think I did anything there, but I won a rabbit's foot from one of those machines, like one of those claw machines. I happened to win it, and I knew I was going to give it to my brother. I decided, like, when I got it, I was like, I want this, it's a sign of good luck, right? And so I had it with me, and all I remember was saying my brother's name. And I don't know if this is imagined or if this is something that actually happened, but like in my memory, I remember seeing like my brother like he shed a tear, but he wasn't conscious at all. He wasn't awake. He was like under very very heavy sedation and everything like that, and he couldn't, if he woke up, he would be in pain because of all of the surgery he'd gone through and all the the bullet wounds and everything like that. But yeah, that was like that 24 hours. That was that day.